I guess for the first couple of years, obviously you're going to be Matt Golinski, the celebrity chef, the guy that got really bad burns and lost his family. And it's a real battle not to be defined by that. You can yell and scream all you like and it's not going to bring them back. So there's like that period of anger and depression and resentment, and then there's just the only sensible thing to do is acceptance. I met my wife Rachel when I was 21 or so. I was just finishing my apprenticeship and she was finishing her nursing degree, and we were inseparable pretty much from then on.
Sage and Willow were born in '99 and Stalia came along 2 years later.
The twins, they were diagnosed with a condition called de Vivo disease. It's a similar condition to cerebral palsy.
Stalia took on that big sister role almost. By the time she was 8 or 9, she would be the one that was looking after them, making sure they were okay at school.
The first time I met him was at the restaurant where he really shone for many years, Ricky Ricardo's in Noosa. And then we both had the opportunity to do this wonderful thing called Really Steady Cook together.
Like cowbell.
He was right up there, right at the top of his game.
Go on, wrap it up.
And was recognised nationally.
Where's your hands?
Yeah.
Both you.
Everything was starting to look good. The girls were developing well, and we had all the family over for Christmas in 2011.
We all had fun, and I remember him picking up some of the kids and throwing them in the pool, and Rachel and I were jumping on the trampoline together, and we had a lovely day. I just decided I'm going to give Rachel the biggest love bomb this Christmas just to show her how much I love her. And she said to me, "Aren't we so lucky that we have this love that we have?" And we both had tears running down our face. But I'm so thankful for that moment.
It was a lovely day, and you just don't expect that in 24 hours or 18 hours that the whole world is sort of going to collapse.
Everyone went home, and then Rachel went up onto the veranda and stood with the girls, and I slowly reversed out, waved to them, left them standing there on that veranda, and that's the last picture I have of my family.
And they all went home and we went to bed, and then that was the last time I saw my family. So that was something that, you know, you just can't even imagine.
Multiple calls were made to 000 just after 3 a.m. after an explosion woke neighbours.
As we approached the scene, people were yelling things at us, telling that the family's still inside. The neighbours said that Matt tried valiantly to open doors to get access to the building to get his children, but the flames and the debris that was as a result of the fire forced him back.
Plainclothes detectives came at around 10 a.m. in the morning, and they told us that there'd been a fire and Rachel and the girls didn't make it.
There's certainly flashbacks of the last few minutes that do come back to me all the time. I can't put that into a cohesive, you know, sequence. So, you know, I don't remember very much of that at all, to be honest.
When they sort of gave me the word that they were going to wake him up, I just had to tell him. And there's no other way there's no easy way of doing it.
And he had to straight out just tell me, "Sorry, mate, they're all gone." I'm not a suicide sort of person, but I just sort of went, "God, really? You spent 8 weeks keeping me alive? Why would you bother? What makes you think that I want to be alive still?"
Friends and family gathered on the Sunshine Coast today to farewell the family of celebrity chef Matt Golinski.
I didn't even get to go to my girl's funeral. My sister and my dad would bring in sackloads of cards and letters from people all over Australia. And some of them had money in them, some of them were people that had held events at their house to raise money for me. And I was like, really? that's the point where I changed. I went, oh, wow, there's people really want to see me survive this and get through it, so I better bloody well do it.
Matt was determined to get better. We can only do so much, but he did most of the hard work to get himself back on the road to recovery.
They released him, and I remember picking him up from the hospital and then driving home. You are driving home, but he's got no home.
I was worried about when he was on his own for extended periods of time, what would happen, what would go through his mind.
It took some stupid heavy drinking and all that sort of stupid stuff that you do where you just want to destroy yourself.
Oh, he probably comes across to some people as being unemotional, but I think probably the exact opposite is true. He's extremely emotional, but he's also extremely private.
The canoe's one of the things that survived the fire, so it's one of those possessions, I suppose, that's pretty special. It's something that me and the girls used to share, go out fishing in it. So it's nice that I've still got it.
It's a roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes you can have triggers that trigger you off. You'll be down the river and you walk past the spot where you used to sit and have ice creams or fish and chips or whatever, and it can be like a real kick, you know. But to me, there's already so many people that have been saddened by this whole trauma, this whole situation that's happened, and it's like, if you know, I can't make them any more sadder. It wouldn't be fair.
When he first visited me, I said, look, I'd really like you to know that I'd really love you to meet someone, and that you're young enough to meet someone and get married again and have children.
It just so happened that there was a rehab hospital 3 minutes from my dad's place, so I was able to just go there every day.
Ouch. Try and keep that other knee down. I was very nervous with him coming in because it touched everyone's heart, what happened. Bit tight. We found out that our parents live across the road from each other. We had lots of common interests, so I started just to be really nice. I'd invite him and friends from work to see some bands play and just tried to get him out to get back to normal a bit. We just ended up hanging out a lot. We'd go for jogs together. I did see it as a friendship, and I'm sure Matt did at the beginning as well. And maybe, I don't know, if I led him on a little, I don't know. I didn't mean to.
For me, I was kind of like, oh, I quite like this girl. She's, you know, she's quite nice and she's single. I don't understand what's wrong with her. It's like, and eventually I sort of went, oh, you know, I better snap her up before somebody else realises what a good catch she is. And then I rang her up one day and sort of went, wouldn't mind if we, you know, what do you think about going out with me?
Deep down, I guess, I did have feelings for him.
I always knew that I was bringing a lot of baggage into a new relationship. She's coming into my situation, which is awful.
You do have that feeling of I wouldn't be able to replace Rachel. So to start with, I probably had little issues every now and then, but Matt and I talk about a lot of things and very open, and he'll talk about his girls. I don't like to pry, but I'm always there to listen.
She obviously was great for him in his recovery, and I suppose you hear of people becoming attached to their carers, but he'd lost so much love from his life that he needed to get some love back in his life.
Matt proposed to me at the top of Mount Karura, not far from where we live. It's our favourite spot. I didn't have any idea that he was going to, and I was a little bit in shock. And he said if I said no, that he'd push me off the mountain.
I reached a point, it took me a while, but I reached a point where with Erin where it was like, well, of course I want to have kids, you know, I'd have 100 of them if I could.
After trying for quite a while, nothing was happening.
Went and both got checked, and it came back to me that, oh, sorry mate, you've got 0 sperm count. So I went to a guy in Brisbane who said, there's one last thing we could try. I can go in with a microscope and see if I can find anything in there at all.
The surgeon found 14 and even the surgeon was pretty emotional about that. So then we had a chance to try IVF. And we were successful the first go, which is, yeah. And Aluna's pretty special. Yeah, she's a very special little one. So, and she's got Matt's dimples.
The stars all aligned. She was meant to be here, and she's obviously happy to be here, and she just lights up my world, you know.
Should we try some? What do you reckon?
If that doctor had come into the room and said, no, sorry, I don't think, you know, I couldn't find anything.
Yum. You want this one?
I don't know how I would have reacted to that. I don't know whether I could have taken that, but she's here, it's happened, and she's amazing.
Having this sort of second go at life and the way everything sort of worked out, and then little Aluna coming along, I think it has been a miracle, really.
She's 9 months old now, and so the pressure's on from me to Erin. Let's go again as soon as we possibly can. There's 2 in the bank, so yeah, we've got, you know, the possibility of 3 all up. You never know, you know, the other 2 embryos may not work, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a damn red hot go.